other party would absolutely not let him go. Chu Feng turned around and ran. As for staying down and directly blocking these attacks, he didn't even think about it. Previously, his most powerful defensive equipment bar, the Spirit Light Shield, had directly snapped in order to block the attack moments before. Now there was no defensive equipment in his hands, and this style of cloud puppet old Taoist shot out with anger. The power is more than double what it was before. Trying to block it out would be impossible. And, most importantly, what he wanted to do now was hold them off. It allowed Xiao Qian enough time to break through the realm. As for him, one death is just one gain level. Bang! Pust! The spiritual energy flung down behind Chu Feng and directly exploded a large pit. The faint spiritual energy that appeared at the edge blew Chu Feng out. A mouthful of blood was sprayed out directly. However, with the help of this force, Chu Feng's speed of escape went up a level, directly escaping hundreds of meters to the side. Such a small trick can be waved away for them, and it won't delay them at all. Gotta find a way out of this in a hurry. As Chu Feng escaped, he quickly turned his head, thinking of a way. One must know that a distance of a few hundred meters was just a matter of a split second for a Heaven Realm cultivator. It's straightforward to cross over. Escaping this far is completely unavoidable. This kid is really ruthless enough to abandon his car and take my attack directly. Looking at Chu Feng's approach, old Taoist Cloud Puppet's face could not help but freeze. An extremely appreciative gaze flashed in his eyes. Unfortunately, once he thought that a grudge had been made, his killing intent towards Chu Feng became even more intense. Immediately, he flew up and chased after them. Kid, stop obediently and kneel down to beg for the old Tao's forgiveness. The old Tao may even let you live if he's in a good mood. If you keep being so stubborn, I'll blame the old Taoist for being unsympathetic. Old Taoist Cloud Puppet persuaded as he chased after them, and his words were even more gentle. The half-threatening, half-receiving words were more than enough to shake the hearts and minds of the desperate people, but the cold light that flowed from his gaze showed without fail that what he had in mind was definitely not the case. There, that's the thing. I hope you can hide me. Suddenly, Chu Feng looked at an item in his storage bag and said with a happy face, End of chapter. Chapter 135 Delay. Chapter 135 Delay. Stealth Charm, open. Chu Feng, who had fallen into the deep forest below, turned around several times. After dislodging his figure from the lock of old Taoist Cloud Puppet, he immediately took out the invisibility talisman in his storage pouch and used it. In the blink of an eye, his figure disappeared in place. It's only fair to get out of here. Chu Feng, who was hiding his figure, did not have the slightest look of joy. He clearly understood how strong the destructive power of a Heaven Realm cultivator was. If old Taoist Cloud Puppet couldn't find himself, he would definitely launch a covering strike on this place. By then it would be useless even if he hit it. After seeing that he was not locked, Chu Feng moved quickly. In the blink of an eye, he left his original spot and came to a place more than 10 miles away. It's almost here. Even if the other party gets angry, they can't interfere here. And most importantly, they're still able to monitor Xiao Qian's side. Saying that, Chu Feng immediately hid his figure and quietly observed the movements of old Taoist Cloud Puppet. Kid, don't try to escape. I'm watching all over this place. Hurry up and come out. Upon seeing Chu Feng suddenly rush into the sea of forests below, his figure suddenly disappeared. Old Taoist Cloud Puppet's face instantly turned ugly. Originally, I thought that catching and killing this mole-like fellow was just a matter of convenience for myself. Who knew that he would be teased now? And such a result made him furious beyond measure. The vast spiritual power, under the propagation of the sound, directly destroyed the surrounding sea of forest into a ruin. The boundless mountains and seas were like pieces of paper under old Taoist Cloud Puppet. Under the shaking of the voice, the mountain peaks crumbled and the sea of forests turned into ashes. When Chu Feng, who was observing from afar, saw this situation, he could not help but inwardly celebrate his foresight. If he had stayed there just now, even if the old Taoist couldn't discover his position, he would have revealed himself under such bombardment, or just die under a massive attack. God-damned mole cricket, how dare you tease me like that? Wait for me to catch you. Definitely will let you taste the torture developed by the old Taoist, and will also extract your soul and take away your spirit, so that you will be burned by the blazing fire for all eternity. The angry Cloud Puppet old Taoist, at this time, no longer pretended to be a good person and directly terrorized Chu Feng. I have a means of tracking people here. As long as he's still around, I'll definitely be able to find him out. Mao Ming on one side couldn't look away. Granted, neither he nor Lao Dao were on the same side. Watching him suffer was extremely soothing. After all, who let the old path get so many good things, but didn't share some of them with him? But now such a small mole dared to tease cultivators like them, causing their majesty to be swept away. Such a thing could never happen. Otherwise how could the majesty of a great cultivator like them be maintained? Of course, The most important thing was to absolutely not allow the other party to reveal the matter of their Mao family joining forces with the demonic cultivator, old Taoist cloud puppet. If it blows up, then things will get big. That's the main reason why he made the move. After all, the two of them were grasshoppers on a string. Alright, as long as you find him out, then you can pick any two of the resources I have here, old Taoist cloud puppet added as if he had thought of something. Except for the ones in it that are capable of breaking through the realm's resources. Okay, hold on. After receiving old Taoist cloud puppet's promise, Mao Ming's expression stretched a few points. It was something he had to do as well, but it would be even better if he was paid for it. 1,000-mile tracking technique. Open. Mao Ming gathered some of Chu Feng's chi at the location where he found him, and then directly cast a tracking technique. Found it. After fiddling there for a while, Mao Ming looked pleased and said happily. Only a white feather appeared floating in front of them, wobbling and floating in mid-air. However, after a short while, as if he had found a location, he slowly flew in one direction, and, as time went on, it got faster and faster. In the blink of an eye it was up to 100 meters per second. A sinister look appeared on both of the cloud puppet old Taoists' faces as they followed it and quickly chased after it. Go back in time a few minutes. What are they doing? They're not moving? In Chu Feng's position, it happened to be their backside. So it was nice to see the two converge and not realize what they were doing. Chu Feng was not surprised about them joining forces. It was because for people in the devil's way like old Taoist cloud puppet, their battle power was generally extremely powerful, but other abilities are relatively weak. After all, only strong, and able to survive the chase. As for the rest, it's not something they're primarily upgrading. After a short while, he knew what they were doing. Because the white feathers flutter and are still auto-oriented, this can't be a tracking tactic. Damn it! Seeing the feather, he immediately thought of the other party's tactics. To say that in immortal cultivation, one of the most feared tactics of immortal cultivators was their unpredictable tracking tactics. Even if you escape anywhere, you will be able to lock you down and find you, just like in the beginning. Before Chu Feng stealthily turned invisible, it was all after first wrenching themselves away from old Taoist cloud puppet's lock. Feng turned on his stealth, and then quickly left. Reacting to that, Chu Feng's heart was about to start preparing to escape. Draw them away and wait until Chao Qian breaks through the realm. Here is already from Chao Qian's location is more than 10 miles away. See. Wait until he will lead them away. Then relatively speaking this side of the crisis is also lifted. What's going on? Chu Feng, who was preparing to escape, watched their movements with a dumbfounded expression, because surprisingly, they weren't chasing towards their side, but instead in the other direction. I can't imagine that the folding tracking technique even has a place for mistakes. Looking at their silly movements, Chu Feng could not help but sigh a sigh of relief. You know he's in the opposite direction of them. If they tracked him like this, wouldn't it be the opposite of what they wanted? Even if they tracked him down they wouldn't be able to catch him. After all, it started off on the wrong foot. However, at this time, Chu Feng did not know that he was happy now, but it was too late to cry later. As they moved quickly, violently, Chu Feng felt a hint of something wrong. The heart couldn't help but wonder. The direction they're pursuing seems to be where I just came from. Could it be because when I hid, I collected all the aura from my body and caused their tracking technique to track me there because I had just been hiding there? Thinking of this, Chu Feng's heart immediately became unhappy. Originally thought that these people were chasing the wrong location, and laughed in his heart that they were little cuties. Yet, who knows? As he watched them get closer and closer to the formation he had set down, Chu Feng's mood grew more and more anxious. What should I do? Should I really run out and be the bait? Seduce them all? For a while, Chu Feng's head spun rapidly, searching for a way to be able to lure them away. After all, if he let them go on, all the work he had done before would be for nothing. And, Cochise is in danger of being discovered. After thinking about it, it was painful to die, but it wasn't unacceptable. Thinking of this, Chu Feng inwardly shouted angrily, Chao Qian girl, young master, I've paid so much for you. If you love him so much when the time comes, let's see how I'll clean you up when the time comes. For Chao Qian such a protective law, Chu Feng had always been extremely dissatisfied. One clearly has such a powerful booster, but due to the presence of Chao Qian who had always followed Tang Shishi's orders, she just didn't make a move when there was no danger, leading him to. However, in order to avoid the other party realizing that he was extremely attached to that side, he kept going that way, causing him to have to throw himself into the net. Therefore, Chu Feng extremely gently withdrew the formation that concealed his body's aura, while his figure quickly fled into the distance. It was as if, after realizing they were looking in the wrong direction, their minds relaxed and they began to run away. Between the flashes of his figure, Chu Feng's figure quickly left this place. Found it. What Chu Feng didn't know was, As he left his spot and released his breath, the white feathers instantly changed direction, rapidly approaching him. I told you that Brad doesn't understand our tactics. As long as we leave our spot, he'll reveal himself. A conspiratorial smile came over Mao Ming's face. Although the strength of Heaven Realm cultivators was extraordinary and their methods were superb, making it difficult to imagine how powerful they were, but not to the point of being able to go from nothing to nothing by taking a little breath and nothing close to you, finding a man out of the darkness. They were just using some scheme to swindle that kid. Who knew that kid would actually show up? Add one for you. Old Taoist Cloud Puppet did not say anything more, and Dan Zhu knew from the other party's words that he was extremely satisfied with Mao Ming's scheme. Then thank you, Old Taoist. After getting the benefit, Mao Ming was even more motivated. The chase was a few moments faster. In the blink of an eye, the two of them were rapidly approaching Chu Feng. Compared to Chu Feng's speed, it could be described as one heaven and one earth. In the blink of an eye, he had caught up with them for over a mile. Seeing that the two were getting closer and closer, Chu Feng's heart began to grow anxious. Damn it, these people are too fast. I'm no match for them at all. At this rate, it won't take me 3 minutes for them to catch up and catch me. Budgeting the speed of the two, Chu Feng pessimistically realized, even if he flew at full speed now, he would be completely unable to escape the other party. Instead, they were caught by the other side. Now that he had exposed his figure, it was impossible for him to become invisible again. Due to his sudden disappearance earlier, it caused Old Taoist Cloud Puppet and the others to lose track of him. So now, after discovering his figure, the two of them stared at Chu Feng with a deadly stare. Not a moment of relaxation. At this time, even if he hid his figure, he would be uncovered. After all, stealth isn't hiding one into another dimension, so now he can be completely helpless. I've done my best, Mr. Chao Qian. The rest is up to you. Thinking of this, Chu Feng faced it openly. After all, it wasn't like he was really dead. It just made him worry that if he died and the formation had no one to maintain it, it would break open because the time was up, causing the aura on Xiao Qian's side to ripple. These two guys would discover her presence, thus disturbing her breakthrough. Since it's certain death, I'll enter the last bit of power for your breakthrough. Thinking of this, Chu Feng's body violently erupted with a kind of blistering speed. Straight away, he pulled a knot of speed out of him, making the reduction in distance between the three of them a little slower. Even if a mole cricket struggles anymore, it's still useless. Looking at Chu Feng's erupting speed, the two Mao Ming men just laughed mockingly and did not pay much attention to it. But lest they miss again, they also accelerated, putting distance between the three of them. With a chase and an escape, more than 2 minutes had passed, and Chu Feng was only about 100 meters away from them. They would catch Chu Feng with just a little bit of effort. Kid, despair. The gap between us is not something you can make up for by fighting for your life. It's time to come over after all this fun, Old Taoist Cloud Puppet said grimly. With a movement of his right hand, he instantly condensed a large hand of spiritual energy, and with a fierce grip, he surrounded Chu Feng. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Even if I die, I won't let you live. At this point, it was already tens or hundreds of miles away from the original location. Even if they stopped, they wouldn't realize that Xiao Qian was breaking through the formation. So at this point, he was no longer thinking of escaping anymore, but rather to teach his opponent a lesson. So what if he's a mole? As long as he still has a breath left in him, then he'll also be able to make you memorize him. Chu Feng took out all the attack talismans, as well as the explosive Amazing Dan, and prepared them all. And then, no longer running away, he turned around to directly meet the other party's spiritual power hand. Boo! With an explosion, he took his blow hard in the eyes of Old Taoist Cloud Puppet in disbelief. Break through directly to him. You're looking at Chu Feng's non-stubborn gaze. Old Taoist Cloud Puppet, who had been living a life of hiding and had worn away the sharpness of his life, shocked for a moment. Under the shock of his mind, he actually forgot to block Chu Feng. The result was that Chu Feng was not sent flying in the first place. Old Taoist Cloud Puppet, if you want me to die, then you must also pay a sufficient price. Although he did not know why the old Taoist in front of him froze, Chu Feng, however, did not hesitate in the slightest and directly detonated all the items on his body. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Under the sense of crisis, Old Taoist Cloud Puppet subconsciously surged his spiritual energy and directly knocked the perceived danger out. Boo! Boo! A series of explosions instantly exploded. The earth shook, the sea of forests raged, and withered branches splashed. Dirt shot up and smoke shook the air. Space jitter. For a while, the surrounding area was plunged directly into chaos. Even Old Taoist Cloud Puppet had received some injuries for a while. Brad, I'm going to break you into pieces. Looking at the injuries on his body, Old Taoist Cloud Puppet stood woefully on the spot and shouted angrily. Oh, It's worth it. It's really worth it this time. With a spirit realm cultivation. To actually injure him and cause him to be in a sorry state. It's really worth it. As Chu Feng listened to his furious curses, his mouth spewed out blood in large gulps while he said intermittently,